I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we
What up? What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here on the Sports Money Network. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's June 17th, and I got plays, props, sides, opinions, trends, angles, cash flow splits, and more to help you guys get to the window with some winning tickets. I've got a special treat today because we're going to go down the rip with, well, frankly, a bunch of the winnable selections for everybody to get paid. So if you're tuning in, you caught the right spot, and it's going to be a short show because I got to get some World Cup action out there for the very late night spot. We did cash the World Cup spot there that I gave you guys yesterday with both teams to score over 1.5 goals at even money. But we've got a late night game here, a 10 p.m.er that I got to get into the lab and scratch away at. We've got U.S. Open action I've got to get prepared for as well. So you know the deal. There's never enough time in the business to get to business. We're going to make that time today, though. Appreciate everybody that has tuned in live, you guys. Here, dog days of summer means everybody's, were they just not betting? They're just not going to bet when there's so much money to be made. That is the difference between us and everybody else, you guys. This is where we grind in and we get paid. Paid like the world trade, as they say out there. If you guys haven't done so already, smash the thumbs up button. Again, we're going to move at a brisk pace. I'm going to fire off a bunch of the VIP plays for you guys today and give some thoughts and opinions on everything that's in the WNBA. We got 6 games, 2 World Cup spots, Major League Baseball. I've got 2 Nerfies for you guys as well, and a couple player props in the dub to try to finish this thing off and put a bow on a nice little Wednesday show. Thumbs up are the most important thing, you guys. We're going to get to work. I'm going to try to get this thing done here, and let's see if we can rip it up in 15 minutes. What do you think? We'll start right now, and we are going to get right into this Major League Baseball card with the few games that are left. The benefit here is I already spent time today with my friend Shark talking about the MLB breakdown, and if you haven't seen Bases Loaded, that show is absolutely heating up right now. On fire. Seeing the board very clearly. Put out some really great best bets for you guys. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Nerfy business here, because I did put a couple of these together. I did want to focus in. I would be remiss to tell you guys that just like last night. Now listen, I gave you guys 2 runs. I gave you Colorado first 5 in full game. I gave you Arizona first 5 in full game. We cashed 2. We didn't cash the other 2, but the good news is we're up. We're up over 1.25 units net units based on the price tags that were on between those 2 plays out there. And so I've got another big dog for you guys, and surprise. Maybe you're not surprised. How can we not respect what's going on with these Colorado Rockies? Right now kind of feels like that pivotal point for the Chicago Cubs. They're probably going to be a lot better than what they're showing us on paper right now. They're an average ball club at best at home right now. They snuck out that first win. Give it to them. 1-run lead. We got Colorado Rockies money line yesterday. Today a plus 178. The money is too darn good to ignore. Now we've got Assad facing the Colorado Rockies lineup. And that's kind of why I wanted to really get in and attack this thing. When you start to peel the onion back a little bit on Assad, you see that what does he really have in his back pocket out there? And, I think the answer probably, consistency. Consistency meaning You got three guys that have seen this guy, and they keep connecting on him. Tyler Freeman, Hunter Goodman. We love Hunter Goodman. Ezekiel Tovar as well, finding himself. Three guys staggered throughout the batting order, 333, 429, and 500, respectively. Sean Sullivan comes in a little bit of that reliever role, so ultimately, he's going to probably go 5, as my guy Shark had talked about earlier today, but, we just don't have enough tape on the guy. He is a lefty, does give us the advantage. Wind is blowing out, and we know overs have cashed at a 61% rate in recent form with the wind blowing out. Potential thunderstorms looming in Wrigleyville in the area, so plan accordingly. But I like this Colorado Rockies as an official best bet for you guys. And look, it ain't no joke as far as price tag's concerned here. We can find a way to sneak in on some plus 170s. It's starting at the start of this show to come down. It's starting to move against the Cubbies out there, and that puts it in buy position for us. Big price tag. Be responsible. We've got a full summer of baseball ahead of us here, but I think this is a good little stick to it to get us moving in the right direction. Let's talk some nerfies and yerfies here. I want to move this thing quickly. And so if you're tuning in, do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button so that we can get down to business and keep this thing flowing like a well-oiled machine, like a steam locomotive that seems to be traveling across the country in honor of America's 250th, the largest locomotive in the world. Was it called Baby Boy or something like that? Anyhow, first nerfie I've got for you guys happens to fall in this Yankees stadium. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the weather. I'm just not afraid of what's happening here when it comes down to these pitching matchups. We've got Rodon in the lefty position. I give a little check mark there. On the flip side of things, we go over and look at this Chicago White Sox setup. Can they get through the top of the order? It obviously helps that they've lessened the best. There's your Dodgers, boys. Dodgers pull ahead 5-4 in this game. Anthony K, though, 6-1 with a 4.34 ERA. Think he's capable of going out there and blocking him and tackling him. And I know this isn't football, but a no-run first inning for me in the White Sox game. Great price tag, minus 106. They're projecting somebody leaks oil early. I don't think that's the case. And I'm going to move on to the West Coast and talk a little bit about the Baltimore and Seattle game. Going to go nerfy, no run first inning. Baltimore and Seattle. We saw last night, low scoring affair. I'm not as excited, just simply because we've got Bradish, and Bradish can certainly give him up. But both these guys trot about 4 ERAs, and they're Bradish a little bit to the lesser. We've talked about Bradish giving up runs, but it's the first 3 innings that I think in this Pacific Northwest with some potential heavy air in the forecast that we can go out there and see this ball just doesn't quite travel. Orioles, for all intent and purpose, 12-21 on the road, where the Seattle Mariners coming 20-16 at home. I mean, it's not like they're world beaters. I think they're rounding to form. It's probably another good Seattle spot. It's a great spot to fade on Bradish, but I'm going to take the nerfy in this one. Slightly juiced at minus 130. Want to rapid fire the card, you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. I see you guys are rocking. Robert McCormick's here. Trevor Davis is here. He's on the over in that Cubs game. Blake M agrees with Nicholas Handy, who said Dodgers. Phil the Kill says the Phil's got to send Painter back. Yeah, dude, that one hurt me. It hurt my feelings mostly is what it hurt. 9 Legacy says paid in full parlay of the day. Yankees, Rockies, Phoenix, Valkyries, all on the spread. Best bet, Rockies money line, Pirates run line, Yankees run line, and the Fire. He's going to lay the number. Nicholas Handy likes Ohtani to get the win in a bounce back spot off of the loss for the LA Dodgers. He says he's still alive. And Stop Geo checking in as well. Appreciate all you guys, man. Look, we're trying to move quickly, trying to change it up a little bit here for the dog days of summer. It's going to be a tall order to knock it down in 15, but I started that timer at 4. 19 would mean that we did it in 15. So that being said, let's keep moving. If you haven't done so, give that thumbs up button a smash for us here as you show some support to the Sports Money Network. And let's talk some business in the WNBA. I'll give you guys some trends. How about that? I told you guys I'm going to share my premium card with everybody here tonight. And why don't we just do that? Let's just pull up Winnable and take a look here. First game we got in front of us as it comes down to the dub. Oops, where'd it go? The Mystic and the Suns. Here come the Suns. Look, at the Mystics, you guys have heard me say one of the worst teams in the WNBA. And right now, you've got heavy buy coming in on the Suns. You got 39% of the bets and 57% of the cash coming in on the Connecticut Sun. Now, you heard me talk about this before. We look at the percentage of bets as typically the public betting, all the tickets being written, parlays, props, you name it, it's all fired into the groove. The percentage of cash, though, typically we look at the bigger bettors, the bigger money coming in. Typically, we kind of tie that back to the sharper better. So we've got a public and sharp breakdown here with sharper money coming in on the Connecticut Sun, and this line has moved 3 points in that favor. In other words, they're saying, hey, we see the bigger bets coming in on the Sun. We do think the Mystics are bad, and that's the way that we're going to kind of price this thing. So I don't disagree. I think Connecticut Sun can find themselves their way to victory here, albeit 2-13 on the season. Geez, this is a short line. And that's where I think they're mind fucking everybody. When you look at this game, how can you take a team that's 2-13? Well, it's because the Mystics are bad. They're just not a good squad in the way that they're made up. Their DNA of the team here. They've lost 3 of their last 4 on top of it. But I went to the under. It has moved 2 points in direction of the under. The Mystics trot in a 15-0 under in the road favorite role if the total is more than a 153.5. So playing against a team that shoots less than 48.5%, I think that's good money for us out there. They're going under by significant margin as well. We're talking 14 points to the under. So I did lock in there that first play of the WNBA card. I like the Sun, but I took the under. You can get 160.5s out there too, by the way, but I did take a 159.5. I would take every point you can. I think it is going to eventually matter in the long run, but that'd be the way I'm going after that game. The Liberty and the Sky. Liberty. You have 76% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the New York Liberty, and it's moving in the New York Liberty direction here. It's gone up 3 points, 3 whole points. You know my style. I like to get behind the back end of that movement, especially in the WNBA, no pun intended here. But right now, we've got a big 0-10 for going on. The Liberty do not cover double-digit spreads. They're struggling on the season to get there. Now, maybe they find form. I mean, they're 10-9, and we know Chicago Sky got rid of Angel Reese, and they're in suspect mode themselves here. But, yeah, 1-4 in their last 5. The only team they beat were the Sun. And so that gives us an opportunity for a bloated line. I am a little concerned. Recent form 2 games ago, June 9th. It was a little over a week ago. So in all fairness, the Sky hosting the Atlanta Dream, that was the Angel Reese rematch game. So yeah, the Dream came in and busted them up. They were 9.5 point favorites. They won. They did not cover, however. And that kind of ties me back to this Liberty team. They just don't like to get, now they are 4-1 in their last 5. So respect. Commissioner's Cup dangled some numbers out there, but it was the Mystic. That's the only double-digit spot they've covered in recent form. So I'm not scared of that. I'm going to take the Chicago Sky. I'm going to take that 10.5. Get on the back end of the movement. The Liberty are 0-10 ATS. Road favorites more than 4 points if the total is under 174.5. So in other words, they're not expecting both teams to hold court. What typically tends to happen are the Liberty go up early and they fizzle away and the backdoor cover opens, and nobody likes the backdoor more than them Chicago Sky gals. That's the way we'll take game number 2. Lynx and Sparks load us up for game number 3, minus 9.5. This line has moved 6 points. The big question is Kalshi Plum, and will she play or won't she play? I don't care regardless in this case. I'll say this. The Lynx are 8-0, road favorites over a 2. Total's got to be over 157. Coming off a game in which they scored 90 points or more. But what are the Lynx playing for? They're already in a position, in my opinion, to go. I mean, listen, even if they win the game, I don't think they cover this thing by margin. Now, the Sparks are 0-11 against the spread, rested home dog. If they allowed less than 11 threes the previous game. So a good defensive effort kind of means they cheat the line down. But this line's moved back up. I mean, 9.5 points. They put it at 3.5. We're seeing a margin in the spot of the Sparks defeats by 12.5 points. 9.5 does make it a little tight, but look, I get Kalshi Plum and her production and the value she brings to the table, but I just don't see it. To me, 9.5 points with a team, the Lynx, perfect 6-0 on the road ATS. But look, Sparks come in 500. I talked about him starting to get healthy. I don't like to see the Plum setback, but, listen, Cameron Brink, it's not like it's clean on the Lynx side of things. Kayla McBride and Nafisha Collier, a couple big names out of that lineup as well. This is just too many points, bottom line for me. I'm going to take a shot with the LA Sparks at the 9.5, and I went to the Portland Fire. Storm are a bad team. The Storm are an under team. They just don't score enough points to be competitive. Totals over 157.5. If they made less than 11 threes the previous game, the game just continues to go under. And it's because they can't contribute. They can't compete. The Fire have shown that they're a fiery little squad, no pun intended. Lines moved a point in their direction from 2.5 to 3.5. But in expansion mode, the Fire have been doing all right. They're finding a way. I think they can get a chance to go out there and cover this game. At the end of the day, non-playoff teams favored versus playoff teams and a high total. So they're playing against a squad. Now, I know they're in expansion mode, but that does boost a 55% win advantage in favor of the Fire. And I do believe that when you look at the squad, they're fast break points. They're not afraid to go out there and keep it high-paced, high-scoring. And because of that, I just kind of think that when you look at this team, you might just overlook the fact that they are expansion, but you can't overlook how bad the Storm are. And that's where I'm getting down, you guys. Premium plays on the show this evening. Keeping it moving. We're trying to get there. We got the Aces and Mercury. I don't have anything official in this game. I would probably lean to the Aces to bounce back here off of the tragic beatdown that was the Dallas Wings the other day. It was a tight line. Dallas had beaten them previously, and so the Wings were able to manage that home court advantage with the motivation to go out there and get it done. I would lean simply to the Aces because, well, Mercury are that bad a team. But you want to qualify that. You want to quantify that. They're 0-12 when the total's over 159 if they recorded better than 33 points from the three. So you got to respect it. They were shooting on fire the previous game. That bloats the number. We're looking for those bloated number opportunities. I would say that it's probably an Aces spot or nothing for me. But it does bring me to this Dallas Wings game to close it off here. Trying to give you guys the fastest 15 I can on the night slate. Value everybody's time. I want to get you guys back out there doing whatever it is you're doing here tonight. But you can't trust the Wings, not in this spot. The Valkyrie are a dominant team at home. We talked about that the last couple of shows. And we just talked about the Wings beating the Aces. What a triumphant victory for a team that's trying to get themselves out of the middle tier, maybe middle upper as it relates to WNBA rankings. And they find themselves 0-18 if they're between the fours. Less than 3 days rest against a, subpar team. Team that averages less than 48% shooting, but makes a lot of threes. So when they're not entirely sure if they're going to win or they're not, they don't. They're 0-18 against the spread. They're 0-18 straight up. Add that caveat that they should be coming off of a huge letdown because they just beat up on the Las Vegas Aces. I'll lay the 2.5 with the Valkyrie. Keeping her moving, you guys. One World Cup game I'll talk about for you here tonight. I like Ghana. I like Ghana draw no bet. It's pricey. Thing about this matchup, the way these two teams battle each other, is that Ghana likes to go out there. I know they play, in that African Cup spot of things here, but they're an offensive-oriented attacking squad, okay? Panama changed up coaches. Panama's become a defensive-oriented squad, almost a park-the-bus type of team. They don't give away many shots, but they also don't generate a lot of offense when it comes down to it. This is going to be a low-level kind of, chess match, right? They're going to be trying to move the pieces around, and I just think that you want to take offense in this case because it doesn't take but one goal to get the job done. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw the draw. That's why the draw no bet, by the way, for Ghana is priced around minus 144. It's as high as 160 on some books as well. So you are going to shop around or want to shop around here. But, man, you got to look at the under 2.5. I'll tell you the spot that I really like. Here's the swing that I took, and we'll see how it plays. But this grouping, incredibly balanced. England, of course, right now on top of Croatia, 3-2. Croatia finding a way to put some goals in there. So there is going to become a factor where you have to concern yourselves with the margin of victory against the opponent. And if you've got a Panamanian team that wants to go sit out there and park the bus, try to reduce the amount of offense, it only takes one or two that squirt by, bad break, lack of IQ when it comes to the footy field, the pitch, and Ghana should be able to get the win. So how about Ghana and the under 2.5 goals? Ghana gets the win, under 2.5 goals, plus 320 price tag. That's what I got for you guys in the World Cup. I did promise you a prop bet in WNBA. We like our unders as it relates to the W. So I found a 3-pointer under. It kind of goes back to that Golden State Dallas game here. So expecting that we don't see Dallas produce Awak Kiur under 1/2 3-pointers made is plus 135 for you guys. That rounds out my action on the board. Take a quick peek at what we have in sharp respected betting, and we'll put a bow on this afternoon's show. Appreciate everybody that did tune in. I don't see anything yet. Usually the W, especially with an 8 p.m. start, will start a little bit later as it relates to sharp respected betting on the diamond. The Rockies and the Angels took the two sides of the day, usually one side. Today they got two. They're nice plus money dogs out there. Of course, the Angels in play, but the Rockies are the spot that I just gave you guys for Major League Baseball tonight. The Angels in Arizona over 9 made the card. That one should be cashing here momentarily. They like the Rockies. The Angels, they put a little sprinkle in on the Guardians as well. That's sharp respected betting. That's pre-gaming. That's 17 minutes of the fastest breakdown on the card for you guys. I don't think I missed anything. We talked ball. We talked Nerfies. We talked player props. We talked W. Went down the entire card in the W. Talked the World Cup with the spot I got for you guys. Now, I'll drop that last play out there for winnable subscribers. But summertime, man. Got a lot to do. Got a lot of spots to focus on. Trying to get you guys paid. Get you back out there to have some fun and enjoy your summer. So that being said, if you haven't done so, comment, you guys. I put a bunch of videos out there already, 3 of them on the YouTube shorts. It would mean a lot to me if you guys could take the time to comment, and I'll come back and keep doing pre-gaming. We got to see those comments though. We're sitting there super short of likes in the dog days of summer. And I know you guys are diehards and OGs here, 20 plus of you watching live, plus the replays. Add a comment for me. If you could do that, it would mean an absolute ton, and I'll be back to do it again. Let's have some fun making that cash. Till next time, get that money.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work